We have a typical Verlinden Productions box art. There's a photo of the PE fret and the resin parts, and we see two built racks. One is already painted. The parts come in two plastic bags. There are 4 sets of Pioneer tools, some copper wire and lead foil. And of course there's the PE fret, which is quite thick. I've got a 0.2mm copper sheet and it's thinner than the PE fret. I don't like the flimsy PE that seems to be common nowadays, but I'm not quite sure if this isn't too thick to bend easily. The fret is packed with small parts, and Verlinden Productions were really generous. These parts aren't needed for building this set. Even better, there are 60 grab handles with 2 sets of bending tools that aren't necessary. Of course I already found a kit on which I'll use them. I don't know yet what these parts are. The most interesting part is the rack for the Pioneer tools. Four of these resin blocks and one with wrenches are included, more than I actually need. A closer look reveals 2 things: nice details and quite a lot of flash. The holes in the pickaxe need to be drilled out, but that's no big deal. Resin is a great material for that kind of work. The 2 parts of the axe look nice, but also must be cleaned up. The instructions are this small sheet of paper. On the top half we find pics of the PE fret and the resin parts. On the lower half, left side, we can imagine how rack and tools are to be assembled. Obviously there's some guesswork included. On the right hand side the drawings show how the tools should be assembled for their use on tanks. Did I order this set in the wrong scale? No, everything's fine. The tools are too big for 1/48 and the instructions are wrong. The issues I talked about aren't enough to come to a proper conclusion. Not all parts look nice, and maybe the molds were too old. Mass production isn't always a good idea if a lot of human work is involved. Quality management is very important here, and the lack of it isn't a good sign. Sets like this are expensive in relation to the amount of parts you get. Well, these are first impressions, and they don't mean that the kit isn't any good. I'll build one rack soon and give you more information after I finish the job.